People gather. They build settlements, and cities and towns are born. Safety begins to fade as an issue, and people have a secure source of food now. Overall survival is increased. By being together, humans are better off. This unity is community. Now, I know this is a big scale, so let's focus this down to a family community. You're in the body of my mother, dealing with my brother. Here, how is community formed? Not by shutting yourself out to the son who routinely lets you down. Your heart used to feel pain and concern in his name. Now nothing but an emptiness clenches that heart of yours. Though he never does of what he is asked, he never listens to you, he has problems at school, you can't have a family, a community with someone you can't be real with. Observe your husband. You've given him your heart. You talk with him, you understand him, and he understands you. You love each other. Remember that feeling. Look at your son, sleep-deprived, depressed, and barely getting by. This strikes you full of rage, doesn't it? He should be better. He should have slept. He should at least be acting happier. He should be managing. Your son only lashes out at you when he sees your concern, knowing this will turn into a fight, as it always does. Now look at your husband, sleep-deprived, depressed, and barely getting by. This strikes you with a sadness, doesn't it? He deserves to be better. You wish he had slept. You want him to be happier. You wish he would be managing. Your husband hugs you when he notices your concern. He knows that you want the best for him. Recall that feeling when you first thought of your husband. Now, of course there are differences. Your husband is an adult. Your husband has already been raised. It would be wrong to treat them similarly. Now, apply empathy. Look at your husband. Sleep-deprived, depressed, and barely getting by. This strikes you with a sadness, doesn't it? He deserves to be better. You wish he would have slept. You want him to be happier. You wish he could be managing. Your husband hugs you when he notices your concern, and he knows that you want the best for him. Now look at your son, sleep-deprived, depressed, barely getting by. This strikes you full of sadness, doesn't it? He deserves to be better. You wish he would have slept. You want him to be happier. You wish he was managing. Your son hugs you when he notices your concern, and he knows that you want the best for him. You feel that feeling you felt for your husband now for your son. That is empathy. You built a community with your husband, a family, so why does your son have to be so much more off worse than your husband does with a given task? You don't give him empathy. You don't allow for that relationship to be built. You have no empathy. Without a community, your son will be worse off, like every human. And it strikes you with rage into your heart when he's not well off, right? Apply empathy and your problems will be solved. I believe empathy builds community by and for love, and it leaves every human affected better off. Love is with which the community should treat each other. Now, look at your son.